Watch this Etymology Nerd video real quick.
This is one of the most disturbing interactions I've ever seen on social media, and not even for the reasons you might think. It starts with the first user claiming that paying for X premium means you're funding free speech, and then the second user responding with the word cisgender, which is censored. To even find that second user's response, I had to scroll past every other comment in the thread and then click an inconspicuous prompt to show additional replies. If I hadn't done all that, then I wouldn't have seen the rebuttal at all. But as concerning as it is to see the word cisgender qualify as hateful conduct, I'm even more concerned by the other interactions we're not seeing in the first place. The cisgender example in this case is still something we call a known unknown. Something that's hidden, but at least we're aware it's hidden. However, there are also the unknown unknowns, the content that's hidden that we don't even know is hidden. Every post you see on social media, for example, first has to conform to the platform's terms of service, then it has to be engaging or it won't be pushed by the algorithm, and then it has to conform to the algorithm's idea of who you are. That means that everything you see online exhibits a kind of survivorship bias. It's restricted in political scope, it's restricted in what makes the platform the most money, and it's restricted in audience. If a message is outside of those criteria, you don't see it, and you don't think about what you don't see, which means that all of our communication unfolds in a biased framework. I'm reminded of that one parable by David Foster Wallace where the first fish tells the second fish, the water's nice today, and then the second fish replies, what's water? We are that second fish because we're incapable of seeing outside of our medium even though there's so much else that's out there. Every message can only unfold in the context of what makes these guys the most money.
Do you see the problem yet? There's actually two, and the first is that this isn't in his realm of expertise, like, at all. He has a linguistics degree from Harvard, and this has nothing to do with linguistics. He's etymology nerd, but obviously you don't have to have a doctorate in a certain field in order to talk about it, which is why I'm able to talk about this. But the reason it's a problem, at least for me, is because he sets himself up as an expert. When he'll slide in random videos that aren't within his expertise anymore, his audience won't notice that he's not a major authority on this topic, because he's throwing information at you at the speed of lightning. A rhetorical device he directly criticizes in another video. I cover that in part 1. The second issue, and the biggest issue, is that he's just wrong here. He presents this issue with social media as if it's violating free speech laws, but that's just not correct. When you're in X or Twitter or whatever you call it, you're in Elon Musk's domain. He owns that platform. He can control what you say. If you wanna avoid that, go outside, touch grass, talk to people in real life. Then you get free speech. Think of it this way, if that sounds stupid. You could get kicked off a plane for, say, pulling a Burger King guy. And that's perfectly reasonable. But then again, obviously, saying the N-word and saying something that goes against the owner's political agenda is definitely different. So maybe we should put a law in motion that prohibits the owner from censoring you based on their political agenda. But then again, what are the lawmakers deciding what is obviously shameful universally, or what is politically motivated, or what is bad censorship? They're deciding good and bad here at the and in their hands is our free speech. That's dangerous, because they are just as mortal as the billionaires who control social media right now. Except what they would put in motion isn't objectionable. You couldn't make a competing social media platform that allows stuff that they don't allow because they choose the laws. That's dangerous. That's really dangerous. They might put laws, they might make rules that are better than what the billionaires have right now, but they also might not. And if you know anything about humans, they would probably not. That is not a risk I'm willing to take, and that's not a risk you should be willing to take for humanity's sake.